In this video, I'll be explaining how to answer the questions which form part of language development 2. Okay, so the first thing we need to do here is correct mistakes. So pause the video now and try to answer some of the questions. So Burns Night celebrates the birth of the poet Robert Burns. It is one of most important. So in this case, we're missing the word the. Yeah, it is one of the most important. So, es de las noches más importantes. Okay. For many Scots, people from Scotland, Burns supper is the most good. Well, obviously, we don't say the most good, we say the best. Okay. Usually, more late it gets, more noisy it gets. So that's an attempt at a double comparative, and it would be the later it gets, the noisier it gets. Yeah. So, entre más avanzada la noche, más ruidosa se pone. Okay. The speech before the toast was funniest I have heard. So it would have to be was the, and then funniest is spelt with an I. Okay. Only no Y in funniest. Okay. The music was more loud, was louder. And obviously we're not going to say was more loud that. We're going to say louder than. Okay, not that. Okay. The celebration was more lively one I've ever been to. So fue el más lively de todos. No? So was the liveliest one. Yeah, like la más viva, sorry. Okay, so outside, it was just as chilly than last year. Just as chilly as. Yeah, so as hot as cold as new as. Okay. Next year, I'll leave more early. I'll leave earlier. Yeah. Okay, good. Well, I hope that was useful. Let's move on. So in this case, we have to complete it with the comparatives of these ones here. So please pause the video now and try this exercise, this green exercise. Okay, so the Mexican holiday Cinco de Mayo, which remembers the Mexican defeat of the French army in 1862, is celebrated enthusiastically. Yeah, I would say is celebrated most enthusiastically. Yeah, se celebra con más entusiasmo. Yeah, in the state of Puebla, or sorry, in fact, it would have to be more enthusiastically. Yeah, so more enthusiastically in Puebla. Yeah, se celebra con más entusiasmo en Puebla que en otras partes de México. Okay, so more enthusiastically. It is not the popular holiday in Mexico. It's not the most popular. No es el más popular, not the most popular. Okay, it's not the most popular holiday in Mexico. In fact, it is celebrated more widely by Mexicans. Yeah, o sea, se celebra con más frecuencia. So more widely. Okay. All right. So more widely by Mexicans in the USA than Mexicans in Mexico. Okay. And the holiday is well known in the USA than Mexican Independence Day. Yeah, is more well known, or you could also say it is better known. You could say that, but I think it's more well known would be more natural in my opinion. Yeah, es más conocido que la independencia de México. Al menos en Estados Unidos. In recent years, Cinco de Mayo has become than ever. So because we've got this word than, yeah, we'd have to say bigger than ever. Okay, bigger than ever. And is promoted as a celebration of Mexican culture, food, wine, and music. Not wine, wide, sorry. Participation is now wide than before. So participation is now wider than before. Yeah, because again, we've got than, okay? And non-Mexican Americans are as enthusiastic about it as. So we have that double structure, that as blah, 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 as, yeah? As old as young as, or as enthusiastic as. Okay, All right. In California, the lively and sensational. So, because we've got the, yeah, it's like el más grande, el más lively. No? So in this case, we'd have to say the liveliest, and most sensational, most sensational. Yeah. So obviously with sensational. It's a long one, so we can't say the sensationalist or something like that. Celebrations have become commercialized in recent years. So they have become more commercialized, se han vuelto más comerciales in recent years, but Cinco de Mayo is still a great festival. Okay, well, I hope that was useful. Let's go move on to have a look at this modifying adjectives. So an adverb, so far better, a lot better. Yeah, is much better, far faster, much faster. Yeah, or this car is much faster than my bike. Okay. He is far better than the other thing. Yeah, es mucho mejor. The food is a lot nicer. Hay una diferencia grande. No? The festival is much more popular, mucho más popular. Okay. By far. Yeah, and then the superlative. He is by far the best. Por mucho es el mejor. She is by far the most attractive girl in the class. Ella es por mucho la más atractiva. Okay. And then we have easily. No? It is easily the best option we have. Fácilmente es el mejor. Yeah? Es el mejor y por mucho. Okay. The festival is easily the most popular. Not nearly, not nearly as blah blah as means ni de broma es tan da 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 como da da da. Okay, so it is not nearly as good as the other option. Yeah, ni de broma es tan buena como la otra opción. Yeah, for example, David is not nearly as tall as Michael. Yeah. Ni de broma es David tan alto como Michael. Okay, so not nearly as good as. Yeah, el del año pasado fue mejor y por mucho. Yeah, not nearly. This is not nearly as good as as good a party as last year. That's just another way of doing the same thing. So not nearly. Okay. So slightly, a bit, and then a comparative. So slightly better. Le gana por poquito. It's slightly better, ligeramente mejor. Okay. So a bit, for example, it could be a bit older. I am a bit older than my brother. Yeah. So un poco mayor, pero es muy poca la diferencia. A little newer. Yeah. This car is a little newer. Este auto es un poquitito nuevo, más nuevo. Sorry, newer. Okay. So the music is only slightly better, únicamente un poquitito mejor. All right. The concert was a bit better, un poco mejor de lo que esperaba. Just about, and then superlative, just about the oldest person. Yeah. She is just about the oldest person in the class. It was just about the longest. Yeah. So you can use this with a superlative. Yeah. Nearly or not quite. So I am nearly as tall as my brother. Yeah, me faltan unos cuantos centímetros. Like he's just a little bit taller than me. I am nearly as tall as my brother. I am not quite as intelligent as my mum. Yeah, me falta poquitito para ser tan inteligente como mi mamá. Yeah, so not quite. Hay una diferencia mínima. Okay, the show was nearly as good as the second one, the first show. Yeah, casi le llegó. Pero no. The weather isn't quite as hot as it was last time. Se le falta un centígrado. Yeah. Okay. So let's have a look at this exercise. So pause the video now, guys, and try to do number 2. Exercise 2. So it says here, Fiesta Broadway in Los Angeles is by far the largest. Yeah. Is by far the largest. Es el más grande y por mucho. Okay. This year, it was much crowded than it was last year. So it was much more crowded. Yeah, había muchísima más gente. This year's parade wasn't quite as long as last time. Yeah, it wasn't quite as long as last time. No hubo una diferencia enorme, una diferencia pequeña. The costumes were a lot more colorful than before. ¿Ya? Mucho más colorido, ¿no? O sea, había una diferencia importante. Okay. The food is far spicier. Far spicier. ¿Ya? Es mucho más picante, mucho más picosa la comida de lo que me acordaba. ¿Ya? I tried, I tried easily the mildest dish. ¿No? I tried easily the mildest dish. O sea, de todos los platillos que había, fácilmente era el menos picante. Mild es cuando no pica la comida. Yeah. So it was easily the mildest. Y aún así me quemó la boca, ¿no? Me enchilé. And I'm sure it was just about the worst. I was just about. So just about, we're going to use this with superlative. So just about the worst, el peor de todos, dancer there. O sea, de todos era yo el peor para bailar. Okay. So, good. Well, I hope this information was useful, guys. And those are all of the exercises for page 17.